Hey everybody, I'm Evan, and we are back here counting down our top 100 board games of all time. This week we are doing number 90 through 81. And once again, I am joined by my guest, Lizzy.
Well, I'm Lizzy with Long Distance Gamers. Thank you for having me on, Evan.
It is a pleasure. Thank you for coming on and doing this with me. I really didn't want to do it by myself.
I definitely understand that.
Okay, this section of the list definitely has games that I've played a lot of times. And 3 of them were on my list in 2018.
Wowzers.
Yeah.
One of mine was actually in my top 10 in 2021.
Wow. Oh, excited to hear what that is. That's a huge drop.
Very much
Yeah,
so.
wow. Okay, well, let's do it then. What do you got for your number 90?
Yes. 90 is a cooperative game. It is well known for being a difficult cooperative game where you are island spiriters fighting off invaders. So you're fighting against colonization pretty much, and it is Spirit Island. So the artwork is beautiful, it is challenging, it is a lot of rules in there, but it's well worth it. It's like getting to choose between going fast or going slow and spending your resources wisely and just getting to beat up on the invaders is pretty nice.
I've never actually played that. I think I always hear that like the rules overhead is quite intense. But I do like the theme. If someone wanted to teach it to me, I'd play it, but I don't think I'm going to seek it out on my own.
Yes. Every time I play it, I have to relearn it, unfortunately,
Yeah.
which does keep it a little bit lower simply because of all the rules overhead.
But man, I know that's a lot of people's like favorite game, and they play it all the time. I've heard
If
stories.
I play it all the time, I wouldn't have to relearn it.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah. All right. Well, that's cool. That's a good pick. All right. So my number 90 is a 2-player abstract game called Boop. Or the version we have is the Halloween one, which is Boop. Because it has ghost cats. Yeah, it's a really simple 2-player abstract game, basically about cats jumping on the bed. And you're trying to get so many in a row so that, you have so many adult cats in a row. When you have so many kittens in a row, they turn into adult cats. It doesn't necessarily make any sense theme-wise why they're growing up on the bed, whatever. But the fun part is when they jump on the bed, then like all of them like scatter, like you would. Like if you jump in the center, all of the cats on the sides spread out. So it's kind of a fun abstract 2-player puzzle game. We're just trying to get those lined up. The Halloween edition has like a ghost cat that kind of travels across the bed, and honestly, we don't even use that often. We just play the normal version, and it's a lot of fun. That's why it's my number 90. Have you played Boop?
I have not. It's one that I really want to play, though.
It's
I
fun.
keep hearing really good things about it.
It's fun, but I'm usually worse at it than I think I am. I feel like I'm doing really good, and then before I know it, I've lost. But that's okay.
Okay.
Yep.
So one of those deceptive ones.
Or I just am not good. That's okay.
I don't believe that. Okay, well, my number 89, we actually started playing this together. We didn't actually finish the game because we ran out of time.
Oh.
We had to take it back to the library. It's all about building these circles, getting these mushrooms, turning them in for points. It is such an adorable, cute game. The rules are a little bit roughly written, but it's really fun. It's called Gnome Hollow. Came out last year, 2024, and it's just really cute, fun. I haven't played it enough, in my opinion, but I've played it. There's a fan-made solo on Board Game Geek that is really good. Comes with a deck of cards that you can flip, see what they're gonna do, and it's a really challenging AI opponent,
Cool.
which is really awesome.
Cool. Yeah, so that was kind of an unfortunate situation. I think we were at the end of the con. I think we were all a little tired. Like reading the rules was kind of like, it had been a long convention. So it was super cute. I like the little magnet boards, and I definitely want to try it again because I do like tile laying games.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So
Agreed.
my number 89 is, well, it's a series of games. It is the Unlock series of games.
Okay.
I couldn't just put one in here because they are like little escape rooms in a box. Generally, each one takes about 60 minutes, and you can play with, however many people you want, but usually, you don't want too many people because you're kind of all looking at these cards. It's basically a deck of cards when you get it, but then you use an app, and the app helps you solve puzzles. And there is a ton of these available. We have done a ton of these over the years. I don't know. There's like a Star Wars one that I think that we're currently working on. And I know there's some board game ones that we're looking forward to getting in the future. There's like a Ticket to Ride one and a Pandemic one. I know.
Ooh.
But there's all sorts of different weird themes. And they're just fun to sit down and do for like an hour, even if sometimes the puzzles are a little weird. Sometimes some of the things they ask you to do is not what you would think to do. I don't want to spoil anything, but sometimes things like the box or maybe the UPC on the box, like the UPC code in the box you might need. So that was one.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like that, I've played, and it pulled me out of the theme,
Okay.
and it kind of ruined the experience for our group. Yeah, that one was talked about for a while because like, why did they have us look at the UPC? That was just
Okay.
stupid. We
I know,
shouldn't
like,
have had to do that.
I never would have figured that out. But regardless, I still have a lot of fun doing it, even when it's weird or like not what you would, not intuitive, I guess. But I don't know. That's why it's my number 89. I still enjoy doing these. I will always do these because they're fun.
I'm definitely interested in trying the game themed ones.
Yeah, they're right.
Just I feel like that'd be super meta.
Yes, yeah, yep. I'm looking forward to that too.
Okay, well, my 88 came out in an original card-sized, teeny tiny little box, and is now in like a huge box. But it is a deck builder game where you're basically trying to destroy the other person. It's a 2-player game. I don't know if competitions can make it go higher. I always just play it at 2 players. But it came out in 2014. It is called Star Realms. So I definitely prefer Star Realms versus the Hero Realms. I like the sci-fi theme more. So basically you're just drafting ships. You're trying to destroy the people's ship, destroy their health, and get them to 0.
That's cool. I know that's a popular game. I've never played it. I know. That's the one where you do like enormous amounts of damage, right? Like you do like hundreds and hundreds of damage or whatever. Is that one?
No, it's like they have 20 health and you try to dwindle them down to 0.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. That's fun.
Yeah.
I do like deck building games, but I have never tried that one. And yeah, I know there's been many expansions over the years.
Yes, a lot. It's getting to the point that bringing out the box is like, oh goodness, what do I want to play?
That happens.
It's getting that type of creep, which is brings it further down, unfortunately.
Okay. Fair enough. All right. So my number 88 also is in a small box, and it continues to be in a small box. And that is called...
Oh.
That is a game called The Game. So this is it's a strange game because it's basically just cards with numbered 1 to 100, or 0 or 2 to 99, I guess, because you have four like 2 1s and 2 hundreds, and you're counting 2 stacks are counting up to 100, and 2 stacks are counting down from 100 to 1. And basically the idea is your group has to get rid of all their cards, and that's it. It's super simple. This is a game that we very often take to restaurants. So like while we're waiting for our food, we play a quick game of this. Sometimes we do really well. I think we've gotten down to 1 card left at one point, and then sometimes we do really bad where we have like 24 cards. Like it's just the way it goes.
Or the first round.
It can be kind of finicky, but because there's like no communication, you can't really tell everyone what cards you have in your hand. You can kind of suggest, hey, don't play on this pile because I can do really well. But then sometimes you're forced to, based on what you have in your own hand. But yeah, it's like a quick, simple, like waiting for dinner type game, and that's why I really like it.
Yeah. And yours is the original of the game, because there's other editions.
Right, I have the game, which is the one we normally play, and then I think we have the quick and easy one. We played that one with you, actually. which the numbers only go...
that's the one I remember.
Yeah, we only go 1 to 50 on that one. That one plays a lot quicker. I do think I like the original better. Yep.
Okay. Good to know. So my 87 came out in 2009 for the original. It did have a reprint, which updated the art. Basically, this is a game where you're just trying to gather, make sets, get more points, and it's a 2-player game, and you play 2 or possibly 3 rounds. Basically, it's the first one to win 2 rounds wins. But did I say the name?
No.
It's called Jaipur.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm kind of conflicted on I like the components for the new one better, but the old one had this cute little panda Easter egg in the camels, and it was so cute. So it's kind of hard to get rid of that one. But overall, the new one is prettier, so I kept that. But it's a really fun, quick, easy. I actually played it on a phone app first, which I don't usually play phone app games too much. But it was a lot like the original game, and it was a lot of fun. So I went and bought.
Cool.
Because of playing on the phone.
That's one of those games that I've had in my hand at the store so many times. And like, maybe I'll buy this, and then I always end up passing on it, right? Like I've never played it, and like I said, it's it's been close. It's been close to being added to my collection many times.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
I definitely recommend it as 87 out of 100.
Yeah, that's in the scope of all of our games, that's pretty dang good.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So, my number 87 is the opposite of the last game, which was a tiny card game. This is a big, I want to say heavy, but a big Euro game called Noblemen. This is an odd one that not a lot of people have heard of, but it actually was released by TMG before they went out of business. So basically, you are like noblemen trying to like build out your estate, and you do that through like tile laying. You gather tiles, place them out, and then you build buildings on those tiles. And then there's a queen that kind of goes around and is inspecting you. So you want to build the buildings in such ways that you score prestige points, because once the queen kind of accelerates the turn or the round end, there's a masquerade ball where you look at all of your prestige points, and then you like change like your rankings, like your class rankings, which give you bonuses. And I think that happens 3 times during the game. There's like it's a very beautifully produced game. All the components are like, it's a big heavy box, big wooden components and tiles, and everything looks really nice. But again, I don't think anybody's actually ever heard of this game. At least very few people have.
Yeah, I haven't heard of that.
No, but it's really fun. It's a really fun game to play. And it comes out often because it's easy to play. Like there's not a lot to like remember how to play, and like the rule book is written very well as far as like steps. So, yeah, if we're looking for a Euro-y type of game where, we're trying to get victory points and blah, 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 it works great. So that is my number 87, Noblemen.
Awesome. Well, my number 86 came out in 2019. It is basically a tableau builder where you use dice to gain resources to build them out. Sometimes you can manipulate those dice, but it is very much luck of the throw. It's called Fantastic Factories.
Ah, okay.
So, yeah, so like you can get people to help you get ways to manipulate your tableau. Something I like is most cards have if you play it, you have to discard another card that has the same symbol. So sometimes you might get a card that you will never play just for the symbol, which is a lot of fun for me.
Yeah, this game is great. I love this game. This game is really fun. I feel like we haven't played it in a while. I was looking at my list here to see if it's on my list, and honestly, I don't remember which side of the list it made, if the top 100 or the bottom 100. So it's good though.
Wait, so you went to 200?
Almost
193.
something like that. Yeah. But yeah, that's a great game.
Wow.
The dice like placement in that game is really fun. Okay.
Great.
So, my number 86 was 83 in 2019. And this is...
Wow, that's close.
I guess this is also a series of games. There's 3 in the line, so I kind of just combine them. And that is the Rumble in the House line. There's also Rumble in the Dungeon, and then Cthulhu in the House. If you want, you can combine all of them. Wouldn't necessarily suggest that, but... so basically you build out a room, put these little character standees in there. You have 2 face down tokens of basically the characters who you want to win the Rumble. And all you do on your turn is you either move a character into another room or have a fight. And by having a fight, basically one eliminates the other. So there's a little bit of like bluffing where you're trying not to make it obvious who your character is because you want him to last longest. Because whoever lasts the longest gets the most points. I don't know. It's a really fun, simple, like silly, quick game. You play 3 rounds of that, add up your total score. Whoever has the most wins. And you can build the house however you want. They're like these rectangular house tiles, so you can make it so everyone is kind of close together in the little house, or you can make it so they're spread out. I don't know. It's silly but I have a really good time with it, and it's super simple.
I've only ever played that once when I first got into gaming at 2 players.
Oh, okay. No, you probably need...
It's not a 2-player
No,
game.
you need like 4, I think, minimum. With the expansions, you can have even more, or not the expansions, but the other versions. Cool.
Yeah, I never got it to the table again because that play was just so rough. It just
really, it was something
destroyed it for me.
So it was a game that we could play very easily when the kids were young, like because it's very simple to understand, right? Like the concepts. So I think that's probably where it stemmed from. But honestly, we played it again this past year and still had a good time with it. So, yeah,
that's good.
Yep.
Okay. My 85 is the game that was number 9 in 2021.
Wow.
Yes, it's another one that came out in 2019. It is where you're trying to go out and explore the world depending on which mode you play. There is one where you start in the world and try to find back to home, but you're just trying to survive. It's called Posthuman Saga.
Okay.
So it is another game by Mighty Boards. And you're just going around trying to manage your resources, trying to not get hurt too badly by the zombies. Well, they're not exactly called zombies, but the others, essentially. And you just go around, try to get the resources, my favorite one is one where there's like 3 points where you have to get to, and like each one you do gets you a special ability, basically, that you can do. And it just changes up the game a bit, and you can go through resources. In some landscapes, you're more likely to get certain things. Like one, you're more likely to get bullets. Others, you're more likely to get food because you gotta eat every night.
I like the theme. I like the theme of that game. It sounds fun. I've never played it.
Well, it's a lot of fun. And there's stories. Like there's a bag that you can pull stories from.
That's
and
cool.
Read. It's really interesting.
It sounds like something I would enjoy, for sure.
I really think you would.
Well, but it was a huge drop for you. Like, what happened?
I just haven't played it enough, really.
Yep, I get it.
It hasn't gotten to the table. It's such a huge...
Sure.
There's not a whole lot of rules overhead, but it's just such a huge game and so much setup that it just...
I get it.
Unfortunately drops because it's it's hard to get to the table.
Yeah, sometimes it can be intimidating to go through the setup and all that stuff for those types of games. I get it, but that's cool. Still a good game, though. Still in the top 100.
Still a very good game.
Yep. All right.
Yes.
So, my number 85, I have a sneaking suspicion is going to be higher on your list. And that is...
Ooh.
Because this, I'm surprised, wasn't higher. But this is where it landed, so this is what it is. This is Mind Management, the psychic espionage game.
I don't think I've ever heard of that.
No? Okay. Well, let me tell you about it. This is based on a comic series about, like, agents versus the management, which is kind of like the secret society that's kind of like controlling everything in the world. And then the rogue agents break off and try to take that company down. But the idea in the game is it's a hidden movement type of game where the rogue agents are trying to managers, whatever it is, are trying to take them down. And as far as games like one of the popular ones is like Fury of Dracula, and that takes forever to play. This takes probably like an hour or less to play. We're just trying to deduce where they are and then find them, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And it's super expandable because there are module boxes in there that you open, like the losing side gets to open and then use as a bonus for the next game. So there's a ton of replayability. You're not just playing the same game every single time.
Yeah, and I do like how those boxes kind of can balance.
Yes.
So that way, if you are playing with someone super experienced and someone that's really new, the new person can get some of those extras.
Yep.
Now, I don't know if they've updated their app, but they used to have the very base game on the app, which that is a lot of fun.
Right, so then you can...
So you're playing against someone.
You could probably do that solitaire or even like co-op then, right? Like if no one wanted to run the other side. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that's...
I think that they only had like the hidden player was the one that was on the app.
Maybe. I've never done that myself. So, but yeah, that's my number 85, Mind Management.
Okay. Well, my number 84 came out in 2006. For a while, I wondered if it was going to be the oldest game on my list. Spoiler alert, though, it is not.
Wow.
But it is another hidden movement game. Or deduction game.
Yeah, sure.
Where it's called Mr. Jack.
Okay.
So one player is playing Mr. Jack where they're trying to get out, but they're not just moving their piece. They're moving other pieces because you want to have about equal in the light versus not in the light. So that way only about half of them get eliminated.
Yep.
And then the other player is trying to find Mr. Jack before he escapes.
Right. There's all these weird, like, historical type characters, like Mr. Jack could be Sherlock Holmes. That's always funny. Turns out Jack the Ripper was actually Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah, and one responsible for... Isn't Sherlock Holmes a fictional character anyways?
Exactly. So it doesn't make any sense, but it's funny.
Yeah, but I think I see it on your shelf.
Oh, you do. It's right there.
Yeah, is it possibly on your list higher up?
It is not. I have kind of a, I'm glad you like it because I do like it, but I kind of have a love-hate relationship with it because sometimes I feel like I can't figure it out. Like I can't figure out how to win. You know what I mean? Like everything seems to be like futile. You know what I mean? Like I can't get the people in the right spot. The abilities that the people are doing, like everyone's either like exposed right away or you know what I mean? So sometimes when I play it, I feel like it doesn't come together quite right. But that said, I did play it this past year, and it went really well. So, like I did feel like I was,
That's good.
Able to do it. Sometimes I'm just not. So it is not on my list, but it's still an interesting game.
Yes, obviously I agree.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So my number 84 was 60 in 2018. And this is a game called Castellan. Have you ever heard of Castellan?
Yes,
So,
I have. It's the...
Yeah. Right. So if you've ever played like the dot game on paper where you're just like connecting all the dots, drawing lines, trying to make enclosures, It's basically the castle version of that, where you have these cards that give you walls and like tower pieces, and you're just placing them onto the board or onto the table, and claiming them with your towers, and whoever can claim the most wins. We have both colors of it, so we can actually play 4 people, and that actually changes it a little bit, and that's fun too. It's super simple. It's just like plastic pieces and cards. And they're cool plastic pieces. And this is another one that like we played many times over the years, even when the kids were younger, because it was a very simple concept to understand. Building castles and placing towers. So it dropped a little bit, but we still play it every once in a while, and I still think it's a great game. Castellan, 84.
Awesome. So my 83 came out in 2022. It is another deck builder type of sorts game where you're trying to go out and explore the Arctic area a bit. It's called Endless Winter Paleo Americans. It's right up there. But I love the artwork. The artwork is stunningly beautiful. It does take a lot of space on the table, though, which is unfortunate. And I haven't even played all of the little mini expansion variants. I think there's one that's kind of like a roll and write one, which I haven't tried that one. But or at least it has that aspect. Like you can draw paintings on a cave, which it thematically sounds awesome, but I just haven't played it. But yeah, you're just trying to build up your thing, trying to get out and explore as much as you can, get resources, and win the game.
Sounds fun. I've never played it.
Our tastes are much more divergent than I thought they would be.
Did you think we'd have more crossovers at this point?
I mean, I thought so. I figured the bottom half would have less crossovers than the top half, though.
You may be right. I guess we'll see as we go along, right? Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. I'd try that game if somebody taught it to me, but it's probably too big of a game that I wouldn't really want to add it to the collection at this point. So
it is a big box.
Yeah. All right. So my number 83 was 57. So it dropped about as much as the last one did. And that is an interesting game called Starving Artists. So the theme of the game is you are a starving artist where you have to kind of balance your food and like painting. But what really gets me in this one is the theme, because there's a ton of cards that are all like public domain art. So it's all like these real pieces of art. And like you're drafting cubes to like paint them. I mean, they're just, so you put the cubes on the cards to complete the cards. I don't always know that the game is 100% balanced, because sometimes the point values on the cards are kind of weird. But I always have a good time playing it, even when like it doesn't go well and I starve to death, and then that ends the game, and that ends the game. But I think it's really unique, and it's just kind of a fun concept to put colored cubes onto paintings, and paint those paintings.
Yeah, and it's nice that the paintings, the colored cubes make sense where they go.
Yes, correct. Yep. Yeah, it's fun.
So I do really like that, and that you actually put them on the painting themselves, not like just on the bottom.
Right. Yep. It's kind of a unique game in that respect, and that's probably why it's at this point on the list. Though it did drop a few places, but that's okay. It's still fun. It's still super fun.
Quite a few places. Okay. So my number 82 is a cooperative game that came out in 2011. My cat is back. Oh yeah, stay right there. Okay. So it is called Flashpoint Fire Rescue. So you're going in there, you're fighting fires, you're trying not to let the fires get too hot and expand too much and blow out the building, essentially. So you're trying to go and contain the fires while also rescuing these people. And they're question marks, so you don't know if it's an actual person or not. until you get to it and then see through the smoke, then be like, okay, you're a person, let's bring you home. Let's get you out of here to safety. And so I like that a lot. It's a lot of fun. I actually, for a while, liked it as my favorite co-op game of all time.
Wow, really? That's
when I very first got into gaming.
That's shocking, actually.
It was one of my favorites.
Based on how I know you, that's shocking.
I know. And what's funny is I liked it even better than another co-op game that I am known for loving.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that sounds impossible.
Yeah, and I had played both.
Huh, wow, interesting. This is another one of those games I've always kind of wanted to try over the years and just never have. Because I think I would enjoy it.
I think you would too. It's a lot of fun. There are dice rolling for where the hot spots are, so it is kind of a luck based.
Sure.
On that aspect, versus some of the other co-ops are like more strategic based.
But that's thematic, right? Because you never know where the fire is going to spring up, right? Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, and like you can turn it into smoke, and then if a fire's next to it, it ignites again.
Great.
So because fires can be very hard to put out, and a little bit of a smoke can turn into a flame again.
Yeah, that's cool. Maybe one day I'll try that game. All right, so my number 82 is a huge game. At least it takes up a lot of space on the table, and that is Dinosaur Island. Have you ever played Dinosaur Island?
I have.
Okay, so this is a game where it's basically I don't want to say it's exactly like Jurassic Park, but it's like Jurassic Park, where you are harvesting DNA with these dice, and then converting that DNA into dinosaurs, and then putting those dinosaurs in your park, and then people come into the park. Sometimes they're people who want to enjoy the park. Sometimes there are people who want to mess around, and they're hoodlums. So you need to have a security level to keep those guys out of your park, and to keep the dinosaurs in their cages, because sometimes they like to break out and eat people. That happens sometimes too. So what I like about this game is how easy it is to play. All of the phases are laid out really well on all the different boards across the table. So it seems intimidating, but once you know how it works, it plays very smoothly.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely was a smooth play. I liked the plastic mini dinosaurs. Those were always cute.
Yes.
I actually gave it to Brooksy because he liked it a lot more than I did. So I don't own it anymore.
Okay, that's okay, though. It's still fun. I have a great time playing it. So, yeah, that's my number 82, Dinosaur Island.
Okay, so my number 81 is the most unique one on this list. It came out in 2017, and it is also a dinosaur-themed game-ish. There's dinosaurs in there that you try to not die from. It is Escape from 100 Million BC.
Okay.
So you're time travelers, and your time travel equipment thing blew up, and so you're basically trying to go around and find the pieces to repair your time machine, and so you can escape from that time period back to your own time period. But it's really interesting because the dinosaurs are out roaming around. There's actually rules where if they're out of time or out of space, I forget which one it is now, but there's a little hexagon up in the corner of the game board that shows you how they move. If there's not a tile for them there, they can still move through the open space, which is actually how we came up with our hex movement in all hex games for playing remotely.
Oh.
So it's because of this game that we can easily play hex games.
Interesting. Wow, that's pretty cool then.
So it definitely holds a special place in my heart for that. The artwork is really rough.
Oh, really?
It's not awful, but it's definitely looks older than what it is.
Okay. The cover is good though, right? Because I've seen this cover a bunch of times. The art on the cover.
Yeah, the artwork is. Yeah,
okay.
The cover artwork is gorgeous.
Okay.
You open it up, and the rule book is also a beast. I wrote out rules for like quick start rules, just so that I wouldn't have to read through that rule book every time.
Okay.
Because and then I made player aids for it, so it was definitely one that the production side could have been better.
Yeah.
But it's still a really fun game where you're still like, going out, exploring, trying to survive dinosaurs, find your stuff, and get out.
That sounds fun. I wonder if the production and the rulebook are kind of what held it back from people, like connecting with it on a wider scale, I guess.
Yeah. I feel like if the artwork on the cards would have popped more and that rulebook would have had some editing.
Yeah.
As well as player aids, I feel like it could have gone to not being the most obscure one on my list.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Or for this one.
This section, yes. Okay, cool. Yeah. All right, so my number 81 is a dungeon crawl. It is probably one of the simplest dungeon crawls because it was designed by a father and a daughter, and that is Cora Quest. This is a very simple dungeon crawl. Like I said, it was designed by a daughter and her father, kind of as like a pandemic lockdown project-ish. And then they ended up publishing it as a game. And it's really fun. It's also very simple. It's basically just explore tiles, get loot, kill monsters in a very simple, like dice rolling kind of way. If you miss your attack, then your character gets more determined, and you can roll more dice the next time you try to attack. It's generally pretty easy to win. I suppose there's ways to make it more difficult. But one of the key things is all of the art, or at least most of the art, was submitted by other children. And I guess maybe I'm a little biased because both of my kids have art in the first one. So it was really fun, like going to Barnes & Noble and seeing it on the shelf. And my youngest, Finn, can look at the box, and his art is right there on the box. So it's pretty cool.
Oh, wow.
Then there's...
Yeah, that's one... Sorry, that's one of the things that I really like about the game, is that it is fan artwork, too.
Yes, and it's really fun, because like all the creatures are fun, all the characters are fun. They're not just like run-of-the-mill dungeon crawl type things. There's an expansion which adds 2 like short campaigns, which is also fun because then you can kind of carry items in between, and like the stories are really silly. There's a website where you can have the stories read to you by Dan, the designer of the game. So it's a lot of fun to play. It's very simple, definitely geared for families. You're not going to play this with your adult gaming friends, but if their kids are there too, then it's fun to play. So yeah, that's my number 81, Cora Quest.
Awesome. I almost backed that because of the community involvement. It just, I have no kids and I don't intend to have kids, so
right. So it's not really a game for you, but that's okay because not every game is.
But it has an awesome community involvement, and that is amazing to see.
Yep. All right. Well, wow, that was 20 more games, 10 from each of us, in our top 100. Yeah, amazing. Yeah. These are all...
I look forward to hearing what you have next.
I know, but these are all really great games. And how are they not?
Yes, they are.
Not higher? How are they not higher on this list?
I think the one, mine, number 89, has potential to move up. Okay. It's just I haven't played it enough. Sure.
Yeah, well, all right. I guess that about wraps this section up. I guess we'll just see you on the next one, everybody. Bye.
Bye.